everybody, it's Mr. Chris from the Hudson Area Public Library. We are doing a STEM video for you today, and it's going to be a two-part video. And I'm going to leave some descriptions in the links in the comments area, so that'll be part of the video too. But we're going to talk about model rockets. And it needs to be a two-part video because we're going to explain all that you need to do to kind of safely launch a model rocket with a solid motor engine. So we are going to start with your launcher. So this requires a 9-volt battery. We put a safety cap on there so we don't run the battery down. We're not using it, but a typical hookup you might have for a toy. And then it's got a long set of wire and then 2 clips here. And these alligator clips will clip to our launch wires. And that's going to give us the electrical power to kind of start a spark to get the engine going. And then one thing we'll revisit later is there's a launch key. So you have a launch button here, and it won't work though unless this launch key is inserted in the pin. So then you'll see a light, and so it's just a safety feature so you're not accidentally launching things when you're not ready to go. So that's the pin, and we'll talk about that later when we get to that part. So a couple things for model rocket. This is a basic model rocket. It's pretty much a hollow cardboard tube, almost like a paper towel roll. It's got some guide fins to provide stability when it goes through the air so it doesn't spin off course. And then you'll see the nose cone on the other end is removable. And you'll see all the strings and a rubber band hopefully in there. So the strings are keeping the nose cone attached to the rocket, and when it gets up to its top altitude, it's going to deploy the parachute. So the nose cone pops off, and then this is the parachute that's kind of folded and packed on the inside. And that'll deploy for the landing. And then on the back end, you'll see a couple things key to the rocket. You'll see these 2 little black nibs. These are to kind of hold on the launch pad. There's a guide wire. So the rocket will slide down and kind of be kept in the upright position in the launch pad. And then you'll see this kind of bent wire sticking off the back. That does 2 things. That keeps the rocket at the right altitude off the launch pad. So if my finger is the launch pad, it's going to elevate it a little bit. That's going to allow the engine to start. And that's also going to hold the motor. And here's the motor, pack of motors. You buy them separately from the rocket. They're not usually sold together. And this is what the motor looks like. So you'll note which engine you're using or what side. There's kind of an empty spot at the top. And then you'll see the solid motor, that's your rocket fuel with a little hole. That's going to be the bottom, sticking out the bottom of your rocket. So when you go to insert the engine, you just kind of pull the wire back. And the engine will fit right in there. And then to protect your parachute when you're launching, you have another separate bag of an item here called wadding. So it kind of looks like Kleenex, paper towel material. One of these will get rolled up, stuffed up and kind of tucked in the front to protect the parachutes and that the hot gases from the engine don't burn up your parachute going. And then the final thing we have to see for today is what goes on the tail end of the rocket. These are your launch wires. They're kind of hard to see, but the black tip is what's going to go in the engine. And then you bend it over. Then you have a plug, which is one of these plastic items that's going to hold the wire in the engine. And then these 2 wires sticking out are what your clips are going to go to, your alligator clips, for providing that electrical current. That's what's actually going to start the ignition on it. So that'll be for the next video when we actually put it on the launch pad. So that is what I wanted to show you, part 1 of a 2-part for Estes model rockets for how to safely kind of prep them and load them and launch them. And we'll get the next video going and hopefully launch this rocket and you can see how it does. Thanks a lot, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.